Alright, then it's time for some milestone Q&A. And so, before we go into this, I might as well pimp my stuff. So first of all, I do have Patreon. So if you enjoy my work and want to support me a little bit more than just by watching and sharing and so on and so forth, consider becoming a patron. Whenever I make a mistake in a video and I have to redo it, I'll of course post a flawed version for you to view before it's actually out and so on and so forth. Or for bigger projects like Idiots Ever Access, I would invite my patrons as well to participate. So yeah, link in the description. And I also have Twitter, so if you want to contact me with a quick little message, go ahead and poke me there. But alright, there we go. Now let's get into the Q&A, I guess. Since I give priority to Patreon questions, well, yeah, unfortunately there were none, so let's move on to, let's go with email. Though I have to say, first thing I got on my email was quote-unquote fan art, and yeah, there's the picture, and I'm not sure if you can count that as fan art, but alright, whatever. And then the second, as well as the last question I got on at least my email, was about my symbols at the beginning of the video, or rather the intro sequence. And the answer I give constantly to people who asked about this is the fans of certain something, not me, will understand, or at least recognize. Right, and on to the biggest pile of questions I got, which is obviously in my YouTube comments. So, what got you into the Elite series originally? Well, thing is, Elite Dangerous is really the first Elite series game that I've played, and really when I saw a couple of YouTube clips or bigger streams or whatever about the game from, I can't recall who exactly, but yeah, well, it felt like something really unique and new, something I haven't really played or felt before, and besides, I really like space thing. After all, Alien Isolation is one really fantastic game, and all the space stuff in there was amazing. But of course, that came after Elite Dangerous. But the essential idea is there, that you are alone in the space, you are actually doing things, and you are not restricted as much as you would expect in other games. Have you ever played Mass Effect Trilogy? Yeah, I have played 1 and 2, that is the first and the second game, but frankly, I never really got into the third-person shooter. Every time I see some sort of third-person shooter, it's just no. Also, it didn't grab me oddly, so there you go. Have you listened to Klendatu Drop? I hope I pronounced that correctly, but yeah, it's one of the Starship Troopers music pieces, right? So yeah, it's really wonderful piece, and it does really add to the movie. I enjoyed the movie myself, so hey, why not? Are you part of a clan in PlanetSide 2? If so, do they have TeamSpeak or Discord server? Yeah, I do have clan, or rather in this case outfit, that is KOTV. And we do have both, actually, TeamSpeak and Discord, though we do use Discord a lot more these days. Question, are you homosex? Okay, that was kind of stupid, but I don't know if I even should dignify this question, but alright, honey, you tell me, am I? Question about PlanetSide 2. As we had so many NS weapons, what faction-specific weapons would you add to the game, and what interesting mechanics would they have? Now, when it comes to NC, well, actually in any faction, the game is already littered with tons of weapons, and I don't think we need more. Seriously, we don't. But let's just say devs suddenly want to redesign at least most of the weapons, and I would say that definitely more railguns for NC, because for fuck's sakes they are cool as hell. And also Gauss guns would be nice. I mean, they are a bit different, but still interesting. For Vano, I'd say something more like Spike or Phase Shift, something really unique, something we haven't seen before. Yes, there's a possibility those weapons will come out like Trap, but you never try, you never learn what works and what doesn't. Will you ever do Let's Plays of any kind on your channel? In simple answer, fuck no. The reason for that is rather simple. They don't appeal to many people, they are boring to watch, and I don't enjoy making them. Besides, I tend to go for more, no, let's say niche appeal. Bigger content creators can do these Let's Plays left and right, because first of all, yeah, it's easier to do, and well, they have their fan base that actually watches that whole thing. For me, 10,000 really doesn't go that high and doesn't really benefit me as much. Oh, and do a hand reveal. Well, here's my hard-ass nanite dispenser. Are you happy? Right, moving on. Do you have 6 toes? No. Do you have any Polish friends? I have an acquaintance or two, but nothing more, I guess. Have you ever thought about playing and filming with other PlanetSide 2 players? Well, I think I have done that before, but I tend to go solo. When I do a bigger project, yeah, I do, but aside from that, not really. Why won't you show us your face, and why do you hate traps so much? As for face reveal, I mean, I don't really see the point in it, though it might add something to my content. I'm not sure where exactly, but I guess it could. But the point is that TheYamiks is more of an idea than a person. There I go, being philosophical and whatnot. But you know, as a fun little thing for this special occasion on 10,000 subs, I do have a rather old camcorder. And for the future, I will record a little, let's call it a face reveal, at least how I look right now, for, well, the time when I reach, I don't know, 100,000 or some other big milestone where I could feel the face reveal would be interesting to see for more people. So, I guess, share my content to your friends and so on, and get me to 100,000. Eventually I will do a face reveal, because I feel it would be interesting, of course. As for the trap, well, I already explained why I hate it so much. If you honestly didn't get that, I mean, come on. On scale of 1 to 10, how annoying did you find the I am number one meme? Yeah, it gets out of hand and it's viral and whatnot, but frankly, the original source is really well done piece. And I can name at least one more show that has done a lot of good songs and, well, it's still rather hated for whatever reason. The thing is, it's very well done in a comedic way, in a rather joyful way, and I understand why people enjoy it. I do actually enjoy it myself, and what I really like about the whole thing is that creators embrace the whole thing, and that's so cool to see. But as for saturation of this meme, frankly, I don't see that meme going everywhere all the time, so it doesn't really bother me. Right, moving on. What's your opinion on Jewish faith? Well, the opinion is about the same as with any other religion on the fucking planet. It's a goddamn cancer. Any fucking religion is. And no, I'm not using this as an ironical, meme-ish type of word way. Yes, it's a fucking cancer. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Mormonism, Scientology, and so on and so forth. Every single thing is a goddamn waste of time. Not only that, they also prevent us from actually improving society and human race in general. Though I don't like putting labels on everything everywhere and so on and so forth, nihilism, cynicism, anti-theism would be those things that would describe me quite well. And sure, I won't go around burning churches and whatnot. I'm rather tolerant, at least in some regards. But of course I won't stay silent when somebody starts to pestering me with this whole bullshit. So yeah, in essence, I'm like that. Right, moving on to a lighter topic. How long will you think the PlanetSide will be alive? Will there be PlanetSide 3 if it dies? If no, then what will you play? Well, as it goes, when PlanetSide dies, and sure enough, it will, I'll probably jump onto Valve games as I usually do. Be that Dota, TF2 probably most likely, and, well, I don't know, Overwatch, or most likely Elite, which I'm actually playing right now. As for how long will PlanetSide 2 be alive? Well, 2 years at least, 4 years probably maximum, at least by my estimates, I don't know. But yeah, after PlanetSide 2, not sure what's gonna happen. I highly doubt PlanetSide 3 will come out in next 5 years after that, at least. Yes, it's a grim view, and yeah, sure enough, I'm trying to be realistic. Because if devs just keep pumping out weapons and that's it, I mean, what the fuck else there is to be gained? Right, moving on. Are you the real Yamik? Right, googling that. Yep, nope, not that. What do the symbols underneath your logo mean? I already answered that in a part way. Also, how did you come around to having your logo? I drew it, actually. The first incarnation actually was a bit different, and my, at least one of my friends remembers that rather well, and it actually looked like uterus, but... Well, I suppose it still does, but hey. I drew it, yeah, later on I remastered it, and after I gained some knowledge as to how Photoshop worked, but yeah. I drew it. It's just my own imagination going out there. And I kind of wanted to have a symbol that I made myself, you know, for my own work, not taking from anyone else. It's mine, you know, sort of ownership there. It's just kind of a fun thing. Right, moving on. Empire or Federation? I mean, come on, you really have to ask that? Empire, of course. Viva la Arisa Duval, yes. And what do you think of Beluga Liner? It's the fattest ship there is in Elite currently, so, yeah, I still haven't gotten around purchasing it because I kind of want to review other ships before I get to it, but eventually I will, and then I'll make a review for it, so don't you worry, eventually I'll come to it. Right, do you murder lambs for Cthulhu? Cthulhu? No. Or what's your worst favorite sniper? No trap or beginner ones. Pretty much any semi-automatic is a crap sniper, so yeah, there you go. How did you choose your name? Well, this question I have actually answered several times. I think every Q&A I make, this question floats up, but well, I guess it pays to repeat. The short version is that my first email, I had to choose name for it, and as it goes at the time, and still actually I am a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! At least the first seasons and whatnot, that is anime. And so I figured, well, fuck it, Yummy. Not enough letters for a username. Alright, fine, I'll put KS at the end, and there you go. 2005. TheYamiks is born. Do you plan on expand onto other games and blah 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 blah? Streaming? Maybe. As for expanding, I'm already doing that with Elite, so yeah, I'm always searching for new games to sort of latch on to. And I know I could do pretty well on Paladins as well, but I fucking hate high res, and I just can't do it. Just no. Other than that, upcoming games for 2017, actually, I'm not hyped about anything, really. So, no, nothing. And there goes a question that oddly seems to be popular. How long is your penis? Yep, that should sum it up. Will I ever play with patrons on streams, YouTube videos? Well, as I said in the beginning, yeah, I will try to invite my patrons to some bigger projects and so on and so forth, but for smaller ones, it's easier for me to just contact my friend than just to deal with Patreon stuff, unfortunately. But if I get enough patrons and they are active enough in the Patreon page or whatever, or Twitter and so on and so forth, I might do it. Who knows? What's the single most important thing in your life? I'd say that's definitely my life, obviously. And here's a question about Plantside again. What's your opinion on Harasser gameplay? Do you think that it's well balanced at the moment, or do you think that Vulcan can suck a cock? Frankly, I don't play much with Harasser, so it's really hard for me to say. But being on the receiving end of Harasser's wrath, I'd say yes. Harasser is decently balanced and it doesn't really go out of its way to destroy everything. So, what would you change for the trap to make it better? I already explained that in my first trap review. How much money did you spend on Plantside 2? Probably 40 to 60 euros, I'm not sure. Right, and moving on, we have a block of text and 3 questions in it. First one's about my name and symbol, that I already answered. Then moving on, we have the second question's about why do I use obscene words and what inspires me to become such a cynical, sarcastic, and blah 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 person. Now, when it comes to choice of language, it's a basic idea of freedom of speech and gaining attention. Because, well, be that comedian or politician or whatever, you use the language to get someone's attention, and really, obscene words, first of all, they are fun to use, and they allow me to express my anger, disappointment, and really many other emotions with just using 1 or 2 obscene words. In society, we are supposed to think that, oh, those are bad words and we don't use them because, oh my god, that's taboo and whatnot, and I think that's really stupid. But yeah, that's just my thinking process right there. But yeah, as for the last question, no, I haven't seen those guys and I don't really care. Now, moving on, would you continue playing Plantside 2 if your account and all the characters and unlocks were irreversibly lost? Well, since I've reached everything I really wanted to do in PlanSide, I wouldn't really mind losing those characters. It would be a huge pain in the ass to make videos afterwards, but yeah. The thing is, I already stopped playing PlanSide a lot since, I don't know, like 2-3 years ago, and these days I just jump in for an hour, maybe at most in a week. Do you agree with Latvian petition launched in 3rd of January 2016, that's about a year ago? In order to strengthen country's security, each Latvian man of at least 18 years of age should undergo a mandatory military training. Yeah, why not man and woman? Well, that being, any human being, really. In a way I agree, in a way I disagree with this thing. Sure, it would improve a couple of things, but the problem, biggest of which I see, is funding for this. First of all, you have to clothe people, then you have to feed them and so on. And as is, Latvia right now couldn't really do that. And of course there are other reasons why it wouldn't really work, or it's bad, or it's good, or whatever. Let's just leave it for another time then. Who are your celebrity crushes, real or animated? I'd say neither would be for me, but really the role model for me is Duke Nukem. Right, moving on. Anyways, in your video PlanSide 2, 15 plus minutes of first impressions, you had 3 factions. Why Vanu? Oh boy, that's the first PlanSide video I ever made. It was in the day when I was rather sick and I didn't go to school actually at that point, and it's rather cringy, and it showcases my ability to speak back then. So yeah, if you want you can go and check it out, but whatever. But as for Vanu, well, I chose it because of the science, knowledge, and well, pursuit of it. Alright, moving on. Why don't I play on Cobalt? No, just no. What's your darkest fetish? Hard to say, honestly. Right, moving on. How much lube do you use daily? Well, let's say if Lube Depot was real, you would see me there pretty much every day picking up several liters. But yeah, there you go. Anyways, moving on. Here's a question I always wanted to ask you. How is your name pronounced? Well, when it comes down to my name, I mean, it's not that hard to pronounce or whatever, but I personally go with TheYamiks, with clear A. Though quite a lot of native English speakers tend to call me TheYamiks, but well, whatever. I guess that works for you, then sure, why not? Anyways, do you still believe in PlanSide 2, or is it a dead game already? Well, it's not a dead game, but unfortunately I have lost belief in it a long time ago. I mean, for fuck's sakes, how long can you pump out more weapons one after another and expect the game to last longer? The thing is, it infuriates me to see that a game with a high potential to actually be something interesting has been reduced to a fucking massive team deathmatch. Anyways, in PlanSide, are there any guns besides phase shift that you enjoy using despite community mostly seeing them as shit? Well, it's hard to say, but probably not. So yeah, there you go. That's all the questions. And yeah, I didn't answer every question as some were a bit too personal that I don't particularly care to elaborate on, at least. So fuck you if you feel butthurt about it, but that's how I am. But yeah, there you go, 10,000 subscribers, and well, if you want to help me become bigger and bigger and bigger and so on and so forth, and maybe see my face one day, share my content with whatever you can find. Also, I got Patreon, and if you enjoy my work, there's the option to support me a little bit more than just by watching and sharing. And, of course, next Q&A I'll do once I double my subscriber count as it is right now, which is 20,000. So, I guess I'll see you guys then.